Affordable senior apartments are coming to Lakewood, and it's a tire roundup all across the city. That and more next on City Talk. Hello everyone, welcome to City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle. The City of Atlanta held its first ever interactive community budget session where residents, business leaders, and other stakeholders gave feedback on the 2013 fiscal year budget. Those who were unable to attend the meeting could email, tweet, or call in their questions during a live virtual meeting. The 2013 budget calls for tighter spending, more code compliance inspectors, additional recreation facility managers, adding funding for Invest Atlanta, and more police officers, which would bring the force to 2,000, representing the largest police force in the city's history. The budget does not include a property tax increase. Hartsfield-Jackson celebrated its newest addition. The Maynard H. Jackson Jr. International Terminal is officially open. The new complex, which can be accessed from exit 239 off Interstate 75, boasts an additional 12 gates. Aviation General Manager Lewis Miller says the new gates, along with the 28 existing gates on Concourse E, give Atlanta a 40-gate international travel complex that will also help to grow domestic flights.
Right now, many times when Concourse E is full, an international departure has to go off of Concourse B or A. That'll free that up and make it available for domestic.
A ceremony was held for the first departing flight out of the new terminal headed for Tokyo. The new terminal, or Concourse F, should see a lot of business. The Federal Aviation Administration expects 13 million international travelers to fly through Atlanta yearly by 2015. The new terminal is noted for the artwork that greets passengers as they travel internationally. 2 of the 6 commissioned pieces were created by local artists. Amy Landsberg hails from Decatur. Her work is one of the larger public art installations on display. Veneers is made of glass panels colored with images of wood grains from 29 extinct or endangered species of trees. All 640 feet of the piece lines the corridor between the E and F concourses. Philadelphian artist Donald Lipsky's work hangs from the atrium ceiling.
It's such a dynamic environment. You reach people that may not go to a museum, and hopefully, through our art, we're able to reduce stress, beautify the environment, create a sense of awe, showcase Atlanta's sophistication.
The special programs manager says travelers get to enjoy the art while experiencing the world-class amenities at the International Terminal. Council members Kwanzaa Hall and Michael Bond were on hand for the new Boulevard Mini Precinct ribbon cutting. The new police mini precinct is inside Atlanta Medical Center. The opening of the new facility is part of the ongoing 2012 Year of Boulevard, a partnership between public and private community stakeholders aimed at improving public safety and quality of life along District 2's Boulevard corridor. Police Chief George Turner deputized the group. They took the Year Boulevard oath, pledging to be vigilant about keeping that corridor safe.
This area did not get this way overnight. We're working diligently to change the mentality and also the perception of this community.
This is the way that it should be, a community effort to improve what is really the gateway to the city of Atlanta off of 75, 85, and I-20.
Kwanzaa Hall is very proud of this initiative, which combines the efforts of Atlanta Police Zone 6, local churches, neighborhood associations, city departments, and several other organizations. The Year Boulevard initiative didn't stop there. Tons of volunteers turned out in force for a grand community cleanup. They tackled trash, weeds, graffiti, and a whole lot more. Hall says good things are happening on Boulevard, and it's all about the community.
Just before we go into this summer, we wanted to do things to spruce up the community and to brighten up the Boulevard corridor.
And it was a good day for some neighborhood groups who got sizable checks to help with their involvement in the community. Councilman Hall helped celebrate the completion of major renovations to the Sweet Auburn Curb Market. The improvements were made possible through stimulus money and community development block grant funds. The market's general manager says the upgrades have already resulted in 8 new leases, in turn creating new jobs. The rededication also marked the market's 88th anniversary at the Edgewood Avenue location. Folks came out to Auburn Avenue to enjoy the Sweet Auburn Spring Fest. The 28th annual festival included music, food, and crafts. The event raises awareness of the historical value of one of Atlanta's most famous streets. In the early and mid-20th century, Auburn Avenue was the scene of a thriving black community. Organizers of the Sweet Auburn Spring Fest want to resurrect that distinction. The area is already seeing rebirth with the establishment of several locally owned businesses, and the Sweet Auburn Curb Market might soon gain new international exposure. It is one of the newest vendors to open in the new Jackson International Terminal. Councilwoman Cleta Winslow joined West End businesses and property owners to continue their work on an economic development strategy for the West End business corridor. So far, the group has discussed tax credit programs, community improvement programs, and making the area safer. The West End community is now looking at strategies that property owners and businesses can use to take their enterprises to the next level. Winslow has introduced several initiatives to help make the area flourish. The City of Atlanta held a housing and down payment assistance seminar and bus tour. The tour showcased renovated properties in Southwest Atlanta. The houses are part of the Neighborhood Stabilization Program designed to assist local governments in purchasing abandoned and foreclosed properties. The event was sponsored by Councilmember Winslow, the Department of Planning and Community Development, and Invest Atlanta. More than 100 people attended a similar workshop earlier this year. In District 5, residents brought abandoned tires to Councilwoman Natalie Archibong's Tire Roundup. The Tire Roundup was an effort to spruce up East Atlanta neighborhoods and rid the area of illegally dumped tires. By disposing of unwanted tires, residents help the environment and help the community.
One of the things that's come out of this has been kind of fun is that the neighborhoods in District 5 have built a kind of a competition, and every year we like to see who goes out early in the morning on this day and collects the most tires.
In the last 11 years, thousands of tires have been collected in District 5. Liberty Tire Recycling, Keep Atlanta Beautiful, and the City of Atlanta hosted a massive tire collection and amnesty day. Hundreds of residents dropped off unwanted tires free of charge for processing and recycling. Atlanta and other major cities are experiencing an increase in litter, waste, and abandoned tires.
We estimate today we'll collect about 30,000 tires or more. And so with that, I'm glad we're having this day, but again, it's sad, and we're going to really have to work on changing laws in terms of how tires are actually dumped throughout our city.
Amnesty Day brought in more than 30,000 tires. The City of Atlanta demolished the old Lakewood Courts apartment complex to make way for a new affordable senior community near the Lakewood Fairgrounds in Southeast Atlanta. The site will be the home of Betmar Village, a 48-unit residential development for low-income residents 62 and older. The new development will be financed with a grant from HUD. The state will provide 4% tax credits, and Invest Atlanta will issue tax-exempt bonds. The gated community will have green construction, energy-efficient appliances, a picnic and park area, and a community room. Council members Winslow and Shepherd co-hosted a cleanup of the Murphy Triangle area. 100 volunteers from the International We Love You Foundation pitched in to help. That foundation provides youth and senior services, social welfare assistance, and emergency relief. Cleanup crews focused on the intersection of Murphy Avenue and Sylvan Road. The Murphy Triangle forms the border between Districts 4 and 12. Councilman Ivory Lee Young Jr. welcomed Starbucks employees and volunteers to Atlanta. The group was in Anderson Park for Global Service Day. The renovation project focused on painting, rebuilding, and some other improvements. Throughout the year, Starbucks employees and customers dedicate their time to create positive change in the community. During Global Month of Service, the coffee company has service projects that address the needs of individual neighborhoods. Thousands of volunteers from around the world have participated in this service program. Hundreds of Atlanta police officers converged on City Hall to pay tribute to the memories of their fallen comrades. This year's police memorial was dedicated to senior police officer Gail Thomas, who died in the line of duty in January. Thomas was struck by a suspected drunk driver on the downtown connector as she exited her patrol car. The featured speaker for the memorial was Dr. Marnie Crumpler, who equated the service of police officers to some recent problems she had with her car's headlight.
You know, you can't drive a car around the city in the dark without a light. You can't find your way on a dark path without light. Well, as police officers, men and women in blue in this city, you are our light.
Atlanta has lost a total of 79 police officers in the line of duty. Because APD is one of the largest law enforcement agencies in the country, it has lost a higher number of police officers. The Atlanta Food Truck Park and Market is up and running again. The Buckhead Park is back in business after a temporary shutdown due to permit issues. Councilmember Yolanda Adrian was at the park on Howell Mill Road to support vendors.
I am so excited to be here. Food trucks are a new concept in Atlanta, and it's growing so fast, and it's wildly popular with the public, with families, and with kids.
The park can hold up to 15 food trucks. A recent tour of the Atlanta Fire Rescue Training Academy gave stakeholders an insight into rescue operations. City Talk takes you to the academy to see and hear how some of Atlanta's bravest save lives every day.
Well, we're here today to demonstrate the capabilities of the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department to the participants of the Atlanta Emergency Preparedness Institute, to show them the different uses of engines, truck companies, and special operations vehicles.
This is the triage. The different tarps, the different colors mean different levels for the victims. We have different tags that you place on each victim. Basically, the green is the best. That means you don't need transport. The red, see the rabbit, that means you're pretty bad off, you need to get to the hospital quick. Of course, the black means no rush, getting to the hospital, it's too late. See, these are what I was talking about, they have all the barcodes, and then you can just boop, scan it and see, what level the patient are. This is the collapse rescue truck. It's basically a Home Depot on wheels. If you think of the truck as being the hardware and tool department, and the trailer is kind of the lumber department. This is a one-of-a-kind trailer. It carries enough lumber and shoring to get us initiated on the start of an operation before we can get resources from, say, a lumber yard or whatnot. That's a 20-ton lifting bag right there. That one little bag will lift 20 tons. That's just one of the many pieces of equipment they have to get people out of bad spots. Key critical part of that's the command, which is the last thing we'll walk you by, is where Chief Edwards and his command tech really orchestrated and controlled everything. And they're the ones that determine what kind of resources we need, when we need to bring more resources and things like that.
The Atlanta Emergency Preparedness Institute began under Chief Cochran as a way for the city to partner with community and business leaders. Their goal is to nurture a relationship that creates better awareness of fire operations and creates an ongoing dialogue between city officials and the public. Councilmember Natalie Archibong and the Atlanta Municipal Court hosted more than a dozen students from South Atlanta Law, Frederick Douglass High, and Carver School of Technology for a day of education about the judicial system. Their mock trial was loosely based on the circumstances surrounding the Trayvon Martin case in Florida. The trial was for Law Month, which educates the public about the court and justice system in the United States. Archibong, who is an attorney, spoke to the group about the American legal system, and Chief Judge Crystal Gaines was thrilled to have them at the courthouse.
It's always a wonderful time for me to get to share what I do with young people like yourself, because I always hope that out of you all, some of you will turn out to be lawyers, and you will come and practice and do a good job in front of me.
The mock trial was sponsored by Taking Action to Overcome Obstacles, a nonprofit organization that strives to create opportunities for disadvantaged students. City Council President Caesar Mitchell co-sponsors a college prep series twice a year to help middle school and high school students get ready for college. And studies show preparation for the ACT and the SAT exams is very important.
It's Saturday morning, and these high school students are taking part in an annual tradition, taking the SAT practice test.
When I was growing up here in Atlanta and a student in high school, the first standardized test that I can remember taking that had implications for college was the PSAT. Didn't study for it. I guess I did okay. And then it was time to take the SAT, which is another standardized test, which is the real deal for getting admitted into college. And I did okay. Could have done better.
And a chance to do better is what City Council President Cesar Mitchell is giving these high school students at the annual College Prep Series. Council President Mitchell partners with the Kaplan Testing Organization, and it's absolutely free.
We do a 3-weekend College Prep Series. The first weekend is an opportunity to take the PSAT or SAT. The second weekend is an opportunity to take the ACT, and the third weekend is a college fair.
This is the 12th year Council President Mitchell has afforded this opportunity to Atlanta's high school students. He recalls his own experience in taking the standardized test.
In preparing for these exams, I don't think I took seriously how important it was to prepare. I said, I guess I can just ride on my intellect. What I've learned is that these tests do not test how high your IQ is or how smart you are intellectually. It really tests how well you have prepared for that particular test. And that's why we do the College Prep Series.
So something like number 1, what would you do?
Rockham Nesbitt participated in the free SAT Prep Series offered by Council President Mitchell. He recalls taking the test for the first time.
I didn't do as bad as I thought I would have. I thought I was going to do a lot worse, but I got a 1060 on mine.
By participating in the College Prep Series, Rockham was able to determine where he needed the most help. Shanna Ricketts is Rockham's tutor. She agrees that having the opportunity to take a mock SAT test can only help.
I think a lot of students and parents as well underestimate the SAT. Right? So you hear about it your whole life, people talk about the SAT, but a lot of students, they go in and not know how the SAT is scored, what types of questions you're gonna have. You know, I mean, simple things like if you really don't know how to do a question, you should just leave it blank, kind of work on the questions that you know how to do and get the points there. So I really think it is extremely valuable for students to kind of get some preparation.
The College Prep Series, coupled with one-on-one tutoring, gave Rockham the tools to retake the SAT with confidence.
Walking into there was like it was just like breathing. It was easy.
I think at the end of the day, a student who has had multiple opportunities to take the exam and to really take it in a real life scenario, real life environment is going to do much better than a young person who hasn't had that experience. And if you score well on the test, that's going to increase the chances you have of getting into college, the chances you have exactly of getting financial aid and certainly scholarships.
Nearly 350 students took part in the College Prep Series in April, but if you missed out on the opportunity, you'll have another chance in October. For more information, call 404-330-6052. President Mitchell presented the keynote address to the University of Georgia's Black Law Student Association during its annual banquet. Mitchell talked about navigating the current job market, community service, and the importance of maintaining a connection with one's community when practicing law. The council president is a graduate of UGA's School of Law. He's a commercial real estate and finance attorney. Mitchell was the commencement speaker for the graduating class of Morris Brown College. The class of 2012 has 33 students, including a husband and wife team who met at Morris Brown years ago and returned to complete their degrees. During the ceremony, President Mitchell received an honorary degree from the college.
I hereby confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws with all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Congratulations, President Cesar Mitchell.
Mitchell is on the Board of Trustees at Morris Brown. Atlanta's Police Athletic League recently hosted a dance and talent show for area kids. Money raised at the talent show will pay for PAL's teens to go whitewater rafting. Prizes were handed out for first, second, and third place winners. First place went to the Williams brothers, who performed a song and a cappella. Rap group Flex Flex came in second, and third place went to rapper Minnie D, Little Miss Attitude. After the talent show, the kids took pictures and danced the night away. Atlanta Police Department's newest top dog was sworn in during Career Day at Springdale Park Elementary School. The oath was administered by Councilman Michael Bond, who donated the McGruff Crime Dog costume to the police department to help in APD's outreach to children. APD officers spoke to first and second graders about future careers in law enforcement. McGruff is the signature anti-crime character for most law enforcement agencies. McGruff has been taking a bite out of crime since 1980. The Office of Recreation welcomed the Children's Defense Fund's Freedom Schools model to Atlanta as part of a revamped Camp Best Friends. Camp Best Friends is a program for kids during the summer. In a partnership with Freedom Schools, 4 of the camps will now integrate reading programs into their curriculum. Children's Freedom Fund representatives spent a week in Atlanta to train recreation staff on the Freedom Schools model and how to implement it into the camp's program.
In many cases, there's a lot of summer lost learning that takes place when you don't have an opportunity to continue help honing in on their educational skills. So this is a great opportunity for the City of Atlanta. It's right in line with the Mayor's vision for all of our recreation centers throughout the City of Atlanta to become centers of hope.
Registration has closed for the 4 recreation centers that offer the Freedom Schools curriculum, but there's still time to sign children up for Camp Best Friends at other locations. Just visit our website at atlanta.ga.gov and enter Camp Best Friends in the search box for more information. Grant Park kicked off the summer with its annual opening day pool party. The celebration included hot dogs, soft drinks, ice cream, and pool games. Councilmember Carla Smith and neighbors got relief from the heat at one of the city's largest public pools. Atlanta opened pools in every quadrant of the city for residents to stay fit, keep cool, and have fun. Check with Parks and Rec for operating hours in your area. Those in District 12 splashed into summer with the opening of a new water splash pad. Councilwoman Joyce Shepherd teamed up with the Atlanta Beltline and Atlanta Public Safety to bring the splash pad to Perkerson Park. They celebrated the grand opening with games for kids and jazz music. Funding for the splash pad came from the Arthur Blank Foundation.
And so the Blank Foundation, actually all over the City of Atlanta, they are a great partner. They love green space and sustainability and quality of life.
Perkerson Park is 50 acres of green space in the Capitol View neighborhood. Councilwoman Keisha Bottoms partnered with Atlanta Public Safety for a jazz concert in John White Park. Residents brought blankets, picnic baskets, and folding chairs for a day of smooth jazz in Southwest Atlanta. They were treated to fun and games and safety tips by Atlanta Police and the Fire Department. The day provided a cultural experience in a backyard setting. Music lovers from the metro area and the region came out to Piedmont Park for the 35th annual Atlanta Jazz Festival. Festival goers enjoyed the cool sounds of jazz the entire Memorial Day weekend. The Free Jazz Festival featured 2 stages and big-name performers.
Now, for me, it's really about the social aspect of it, and we're just socializing, intermingling, talking, tripping out, tasting everybody's dishes and foods, and it's great.
In keeping with the city's dedication to sustainability, the Go Green Jazz Eco Village educated patrons on air quality, water conservation, and community vitality. 2 kid zones were also set up to entertain children while their parents enjoyed the music. The Memorial Day Festival was preceded by the 31 Days of Jazz, which offered month-long concerts that featured artists in venues across the city. Councilmember Yolanda Adrian delivered the opening remarks at the Atlanta Beltline Northside 5K. The 5K was a run-walk on the Beltline's Northside Trail, beginning and ending in Tanyard Creek Park. The race featured a friendly face-off between Atlanta's police and fire chiefs. Police and fire personnel and recruits from both departments participated in the race. The event also included a field day challenge with frisbee tossing, dizzy shoe sprints, and wheelbarrow racing. NPUQ in Southwest Atlanta got active as well. Councilwoman Keisha Bottoms was in full stride for the inaugural Cascade 5K run. The 5K started and ended at the QLC Center on Danforth Road. The winner of the race is a physically active Atlantan who encourages everyone to keep it moving.
Feels great. Came from a long way. Feels good to be a champion. You know, it's the first race I ever won. started out about 300 pounds 4 or 5 years ago. I just kept working.
Oh,
it
wow.
feels good to finally put something together like this.
Atlantic Station played host to the 22nd annual Coleman Atlanta Race for the Cure. Nearly 20,000 people came out to support the organization in its crusade to fight and end breast cancer. Many of those at the fundraiser came in teams and dressed for the occasion. Parents also showed up with their little ones who supported the fight from their strollers. Kim Jones represents Belk department stores. She came with about 20 of her co-workers to honor the memory of a Belk employee in their Rome store who recently lost her battle with breast cancer.
Well, our commitment is, it's Mother's Day. We're retailers. This is the single biggest weekend we have financially, but it is more important than that. It's more important to be there and to raise money for the women who are facing and fighting, and unfortunately the ones who have passed on.
Last year's Race for the Cure raised over $2 million, which helped to fund 22 local screening and education programs. About a quarter of Coleman Atlanta's revenue is used to research a cure for the disease. Council members Aaron Watson and Joyce Shepard joined forces to celebrate Older Atlantans Month. They led a 1-mile walk with seniors on the Path Trail around the Browns Mill Golf Course.
Some of them already walk a lot. Some of the participants don't walk as much, and we just want them to get out and make a habit of walking every day and just limbering up and continuing to have a high-quality lifestyle.
Well, I just want to encourage other people that's not doing this to do it. It's better for your health, it helps your heart, it helps your limbs, and it helps you to live longer.
The Walk with Seniors was one of several activities to celebrate and honor the many contributions older adults make to our community. Councilman Watson has a Live Smarter, Live Better initiative to encourage Atlantans of all ages to embrace healthy eating habits, exercise, and eco-friendly practices. Watson wants Atlanta to be a greener, healthier, and physically active place to live and work. Living Smarter includes a series of bike rides, making better environmental choices, and eating healthy. Through this program, Watson hopes to energize citizens to think, move, and connect with others. Thank you for watching City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle.